Today we're going to talk about how to market your medical practice online. How's it going, everyone? My name's Cole Torres. I'm the founder of Local Eye Media, and today we're going to be talking about marketing your medical practice online. That can be broad, so I'm going to keep this to the fundamentals. So this can apply to pretty much anyone: primary care, urgent care, specialty like dermatology, even dentist, anything like that. First method we want to talk about is search engines. So there's two different things you can do with the search engines. There's the paid listings and then there's the organic listings. I highly recommend that you invest in paid search. This helps guarantee that you're gonna show up when people are searching for the type of practice that you are. If they're searching for a type of condition that you can treat, or if they're searching for your competitors. If you go to Google Ads, used to be called AdWords, switched over to Google Ads, you can sign up and you can set your keywords. There's a lot of different things you can do, and we'll probably make a different video someday about how to set up one of these. But the important thing is that this gives you the power to set your keywords. So if somebody, say you're in urgent care, if somebody searches for sprained ankle, or if they search for where to get a flu test, or if they think they have the flu, looking up symptoms for the flu, you can show up in the search results. And not just your organic listing, which is going to go off the title of that page. You can actually have your own custom title for that search listing, so it specifically says what that search says. So if somebody says flu symptoms, we can have your ad show up and it says, do you have flu symptoms? Come to ABC Clinic to get them treated. Somebody can go through there, and then you have a landing page specifically set up for information about the flu and information about your practice, where they can come, what hours you're open, how they can make an appointment, or if you're in urgent care and you don't take appointments, how they get there, or the phone number, things like that. Also, the thing you can do is you can add ad extensions, which is pretty cool. So say you're multi-location. You can set up this ad to where it'll say the same thing in the ad. Do you have the flu symptoms? Come to ABC Clinic. But say you have one on the west side of town and one on the east side of town. Somebody searches it from the east side of town. You don't want the west address to show up because they might not find that to be relevant. So you can actually set up to where they search it geographically, where their device is that they're searching from. It'll locate which location is closer, and it'll present them with the address of the closer one. With the ad extensions, you can also have the phone number listed, so they possibly don't even have to click to a website anywhere. They can just click on your phone number directly from the search engine, call you, get an appointment set up, or get directions to your clinic and come straight to you. This is great for your business because these are action items for this potential patient. If they go through any of these steps, you're so much more likely to get that person to come here, because we can key on exactly what they're looking for at that time, not just generally as a healthcare provider, but this specific item that they're looking for. It's really neat. The other side is going to be the organic side. So maybe they're just looking for a general urgent care. They're just doing research on primary care, and they're not wanting to go through an ad to take immediate action. They might be going through the listings. Again, I still would recommend the ad, because that top listing, they're going to see your branding. But if they're just going down through the listings, you want to be there too, so they can see you twice in that time and they can become more familiar with you. There's other videos I've done on SEO, so I won't go too far in depth, but it's important to get your on-page SEO set up properly, where your titles are set up correctly, your meta descriptions are set up correctly, your headers are set up correctly, and then your offline items are set up correctly too. So your Google My Business listing is claimed and it's optimized. You've claimed a Google My Business listing for each one of your providers in your practice. Again, this is an extremely beneficial thing that a lot of people are missing. Make sure you don't put the name of your practice in the title of that listing, but if you have multiple locations, you can list a listing for each one of those locations. If you have multiple entities in one building with different suite numbers, you can list a listing for each of those entities. If you have multiple providers, you can list a listing for each of those providers. Even if it's one provider, you can do a listing for your practice, and then you also do another listing for your provider. You want to make sure you maximize your exposure across all these areas. And then there's the NAP, name, address, phone consistency across directories online. Again, the easiest way to handle that is through a listing management service. You can use companies that have agreements with them like Local iMedia, or you can sign up for one on your own if you prefer to self-manage those. And then another tip is to make sure you're getting good reviews, responding to those reviews, and keeping up the amount of people that actually interact with your brand online. All those things will help your organic listing so you show up all the way at the top with the ad, and then when they're scrolling down to do more research, they see you again. Next thing we can talk about is social media. Social media can be incredibly effective for a healthcare practice. It might not be the most effective thing you do with the organic social media, but it's still a good piece of a well-rounded digital marketing strategy. The organic side is important because it's still an additional piece that you can keep up with your current patient base. You can give them announcements. They can leave you reviews, which actually get kicked back to Google. If you have a number of listings or a number of reviews on your Facebook listing, you go to your Google My Business listing, often they'll publish that Facebook score on there. So if it's high, it's just another piece to validate your clinic or your practice when somebody comes across your My Business page when they're using Google. The other cool part about social is that it allows people to provide you with social proof. So if you put out content that people share, or they comment on it that I use them and I love them, or they share something that says I like this provider or I like this practice, when their friends see that, that adds social proof. So not necessarily from the search engine standpoint, but to their friends who probably live in the local area, they're able to see that, and they're able to know that if they like it, I may like it too. The other really cool thing about social is the advertising power that they have. So there's the organic side, which really the traffic's been getting throttled. If you have a business page and you're putting out posts, you're not getting a ton of traffic regardless of the amount of followers you have. If you have a huge amount, then there's a possibility that you're getting a decent amount of views, but still percentage-wise, it's usually pretty far down there. Unless you're putting out video content, which you definitely need to focus on and you should contact Local iMedia about. But without going down that track, the paid side of it, you can reach a tremendous amount of people for very little money. We can reach thousands of people often for $3, $4, $5 across these social platforms, especially if we're doing good video content that people are sharing and that people are interested in. The great thing about this too is you can target geographically, so you can target a certain radius around your business, you can target a certain neighborhood, you can target around a certain city. Depending on where you are, where your competition is, you can lay out specific geographic areas that you're actually serving an ad to. But the great thing about this advertisement compared to other forms of advertising is, one, it is cheaper than almost any other thing out there. When you compare it to publications or billboards or radio, it's just so much cheaper. And a big difference is it's a lot harder to share a billboard with your friends than it is to share a Facebook post. So say you did a great video about an offering that your facility has. Say you're doing flu shots, and you do a great video about flu shots, and your providers are in there, and your patients love the provider that's in the video, and they're charismatic, and it's a high quality video. You push that out to the community, and some of your patients see it, and they say, I love that provider, I'm going to share that, and I'm also going to comment on there that I love that provider. When that goes out, you don't have to pay for the traffic that is shared on that ad. So if you reach 1,000 people, but 20 of them share it, and each of them got 100 views, you get an additional 2,000 impressions for free. It's an incredible thing to do. It's an incredible platform to advertise on, and it allows you additional items that you can retarget on. So if somebody went to your webpage, say you offer different services in a primary care setting. If somebody went to your webpage and say they're diabetic and they went to your page about diabetes, you can serve them ads that are relative to the pages that they've been on. So instead of just giving them a general ad about your practice, you can give them an ad about the fact that possibly here's a video about what we do to treat diabetics. There's a lot of different things you can do with this, a lot of it really cool. So definitely look further into it or give us a call and we can talk to you more about it. Another area that we love to use with digital marketing is online display advertising. This is really cool because you can use the retargeting method based on where they've been at on your site, but you can also target contextual keywords on websites. Let me break down to you what that means. Let's say I get the flu and I want to go get it treated, but I'm feeling bad. I want to feel better right now. I go to the internet, I Google how to treat the flu, or maybe flu symptoms, however we want to do it. So I go to a third-party website where it teaches me remedies, how to feel better from the flu, how to get through the day. That website is usually going to be fueled by ads, and that's going to be online display ads. Usually a banner at the top, or a column on the side, or maybe a pop-up from the bottom. There's all kinds of different ones. Typically they use a uniform amount of dimensions that you can bid on, but regardless, if somebody goes to that site for the flu symptoms and it's flu season, we can have messaging made up for the flu and that you can get it treated at ABC Clinic down the road, and we can serve that to that person on this third-party website. Even though you don't own the website, you can get in on that advertising placement when they're looking up something specific to what you offer. Even though you don't own that website, you can send them something specific about what you offer because they're looking up something that has to do with it. And they're much more likely to be receptive and take notice of that because it's relevant to what they're doing in that moment. They probably have the flu, or maybe they have a child that has the flu, and now they have a solution to that problem because we get that ad in front of them. The really cool thing about these display ads is that we use software where we can target very specific demographics and we can target very specifically. We use data providers to get these targeting lists, but we can target, say, households with children of a certain age. Say you have pediatric offerings or you're wanting to reach new mothers, you can try to target mothers of newborns or people with children between the ages of 1 and 3, things like that. Very specific targeting options open for you. So with all these items that we have to market your practice online, the important thing is that you come up with a good message and a consistent message, and you push this across all the platforms. So if you're offering certain items, you need to advertise that on search. You need to try to get your pages for your most popular offerings or the ones that you feel are most important to your practice to rank high. And you want your search engine ads to also be about those different services that you have so they show up high. Again, with these search engine ads, it doesn't have to be just one thing. You could pick 5 things, you could pick 10 things, you pick 20 things. I'd recommend keeping it on the lower end, probably about 2, 3, 4, 5. But you can rotate those out so when people search for different keywords, it's what shows up. Then you can retarget those people through Facebook and through online display, or you can send out general messages to the community and make sure you reach way more than just the people that are following you through paid advertisement through social and through online display advertising. If you have a consistent message, you can reach people all across the internet. There's pretty much nowhere they're going to go where they won't have a chance of seeing your message, and it's going to be phenomenally cheap compared to other advertising avenues. And again, I've been in marketing, been in advertising. I still recommend the use of other things outside of digital marketing, but I think this is a great foundational piece for your marketing. So if you only have money for one of them, that you take advantage of this over anything else immediately, and that you make sure you establish a great brand and a great message when you start pushing that out. And you can build upon these fundamentals and these fundamental building blocks with digital, and then start moving your message outside of it. If you want to learn more, always reach out. If you want to learn anything additional that I didn't cover in this video or about a different topic about marketing, leave me a comment below. I plan to make more videos, and I'd like to send out something interesting to what you guys want to learn about. And as always, if you want to learn more, you can always reach out as well. Thanks.